How you feel about your precious life experience, and yes, I said your precious life experience because your life is so precious, is largely dictated by the health of the sacral chakra. And if the sacral chakra is blocked, unbalanced, or it's not receiving that life force energy, you're not gonna feel super great about your life experience. So in this video, we're gonna talk about a couple of things as they pertain to the sacral chakra. Number one, we're gonna talk about what it is. Number two, we're gonna explore some mysticism behind the sacral chakra because I think that's important in order to help you expand your consciousness and really consider what it means to you. And number three, we're gonna talk about some aspects of healing the sacral chakra beyond just breath work and yoga. If you don't already know what a chakra is, I highly recommend that you start studying this because this is you. This is your precious, subtle energy body that helps to manifest the life experience. You do not need to be a yogi and you do not need to be steeped in esoteric thought, but just learning a little bit each day about you as energy and consciousness is so important because the more you understand yourself as energy and consciousness, the more you can direct your vibration toward a life that you absolutely love. Let's talk about what the sacral chakra is. So the sacral chakra is responsible for our feelings, and that's really important because the way we feel about our life experience is going to dictate how we experience our life, right? And the sacral chakra is this beautiful, watery center where it needs and wants things to flow. So it doesn't want your feelings pent up inside of it because think of when things are like pent up or like blocked, right? Like a stagnant body of water. If all those emotions, hard emotions, emotions of codependency, of regret, of remorse, of non-forgiveness, if all of those things stay in the sacral chakra, it not only gets blocked, but it gets sort of like a still body of water, parasitic, and the likelihood of bacteria growing is very, very high. So if you sort of feel ick about your life, then you probably have a blocked sacral chakra. Now there's a lot of other physical ailments that you could be experiencing, such as reproductive issues, urinary issues, blood flow issues, sciatica issues, lower back issues, because the sacral chakra is located just below the navel. So any physical ailments that you have just below the navel could indicate a wounded or blocked sacral chakra. Now, one of the ways to release the flow of emotions is to consider your sexuality. But sexuality is largely misconceived because of dogmatic viewpoints that brainwash us into thinking sex and sexuality are dirty, promiscuous, or evil in some way. We are innately sexual beings. We are designed as sexual beings to understand the union between the feminine and the masculine. And a balanced, healthy sacral chakra will lead you to a partner who can honor your wants, needs, and desires, and who can be honored themselves. Now, I see on social media a lot of creators talking about how they have a very active sacral chakra, which means they're very sexual and they have a lot of partners, or they like to sort of be on camera for their activities. But this isn't necessarily a good thing. From an energy healer's perspective, we always strive for balance. So having multiple partners or living out through a sexual archetype can actually be very detrimental to this chakra. But beyond the physical sexuality, there is another sexual aspect to this chakra, and it's largely about embodying the vitality you need to make an impression on the world. This chakra wants you to use your feelings to make your mark on the world. Your feelings are like the energetic signature that you leave behind. And when you can intelligently work with this energy, instead of leaving karmic signatures, you evolve into leaving dharmic signatures. Signatures from your higher self, not the lower self. So let's talk about some of the mysticism associated with this chakra so you can let your consciousness go where it needs to go to explore this energy center further. Now, most people associate the moon with the sacral chakra. And while it very much is associated with the sacral chakra, because the moon is that very watery, psychic, emotional energy, lesser known is that actually Pluto is associated with the sacral chakra. And we look to Pluto as part of the sacral chakra because of its deep transformative qualities. Now think of when you release something, you let it go away from you. It is an alchemical process that is actually changing shape and form. When you let go, you become available for new shape and form. So the Pluto aspect of the sacral chakra is important to remember because regardless of how you feel about your life now, you should know deeply that the way you feel about your life is going to determine how you experience it. And since no one can dictate how you feel, changing your feelings transforms the life experience. Now, another mystical aspect of the sacral chakra is the 6-petal lotus, which signifies the 6 vritti, or mental thought forms that we are meant to overcome in order to mature spiritually. These are important because as we mature spiritually, we achieve energetic balance between the masculine and the feminine and climb our way back to the one. Specifically, these thought forms are indulgence, lack of empathy, disdain and suspicion, and destruction and delusion. Now, if you notice, all 6 of the vritti can largely be associated with our sexuality. The positive archetype for the sacral chakra is the Empress because she herself is the womb of creation, whereas the negative archetype is the martyr who uses sacrifice as manipulation and control to get others to behave in a certain way. The tarot suit associated with the sacral chakra is, of course, the cups because they are associated with the element of water. And I would encourage you to look at it in this way. Water can only take shape in the container that it's in. And it's up to you to choose the container of your life and to consciously direct how you hold life. If you're holding on to life through prejudices, non-forgiveness, remorse, regret, shame, you will inevitably have a very tight container that makes you feel almost as if you can't escape. But the truth is, you are the creator of your life experience, and you must hold it in a way that is flexible, malleable, and flowing from the divinity that you are. So how do you heal, unblock, and balance the sacral chakra? Well, there are a number of ways. Certainly, certain yoga poses and breath work are wonderful tools, but many of you don't necessarily want to go down that path. So another way is physical intimacy. But again, keeping in mind that this is largely about the divine union between the masculine and feminine, not archetypal role play, not having multiple partners. Our goal is balance. Another way is simply playing like a child and making love to your life. When you find something that you absolutely adore, say it's a pet or even a piece of fabric, the idea is to honor the sensual nature, the tactile nature, and the feeling of what you love, and to continue to build more and more love for your life. But my favorite way to work with the sacral chakra is to take something from formless into form. And that could be turning wood into a shed, flour into a cake, a blank sheet of paper into a poem. The sacral chakra thrives on creativity. And if you're not feeling very creative or don't think that you were blessed with creativity, that would indicate a blocked or unbalanced sacral chakra. So I encourage you to play around with your creativity. Not all creations have to be perfect. Of course, letting your emotions flow through things like crying and sometimes talk therapy. But if you know me, I'm not the biggest proponent of talk therapy because sometimes we use it as a crutch and it actually increases samsara, or keeping us on the karmic wheel of our pain. So just make sure that you're working with the right therapist and you're using the tools you need for long-term healing, not long-term dealing. Let me know how you feel after watching this video, and never forget, you are loved.